May the words of our mouths, the meditations and thoughts of our hearts, and the actions of our bodies, may they all be acceptable in your sight. O Lord, our rock, our strength, our Redeemer. Amen. Welcome to Christmas 2021. I'm not going to lie. Last Christmas Eve was lovely in one way on a personal note. As a pastor, my Christmas Eves are usually booked, as you can imagine. Well, last year was the first opportunity ever that I had to worship with my children, who are now adults. It was an incredible experience to worship together, all of us, albeit it was a little weird, seeing myself preach on TV. But as of yesterday, before the cancellation of in-person worship, this is the point at which I was going to say, you know, how lovely this year to be worshiping with you in person with some of you, to be encouraged by your faith, your embodiment of God's love in Jesus, to witness together to the news, for unto us is born this day a child, to see you face to face. Well, I'm not exactly sure it would be face to face, maybe eye to eye, because you know how those masks work. And now, today, as I preach, I see you online. So welcome to COVID Christmas Eve number 2. Where we're back to live streaming, pre-recording. Here we go again. We all thought that we were done. Not with Christmas, certainly, but at least done enough with COVID. The lines are longer at the COVID testing sites than they are in Macy's. Go figure. It's a new wave, a new variant, Omicron. A name that sounds like a Marvel character or one of the kings, maybe number 4, who was left off the list because of the gifts that that king brought, unwanted, to say the least. But thankfully, Omicron apparently is less virulent, even though more contagious variant of that disease. Nonetheless, Omicron has set many of us on edge. We were getting ready for Christmas with plans to travel, looking forward to larger family gatherings, coming to worship. But now even the governor caught virus. What are we going to do? It's Christmas Eve. But of course, COVID is not the only concern or burden we bear this Christmas. We're not wanting to hear a depressing story, especially on Christmas Eve, but tell that to the thousands of families in Kentucky, Arkansas, Illinois, whose homes were destroyed, whose lives were also, and who lost loved ones in those recent violent tornadoes. The destruction is real, and then there are the families of those killed in Oxford, Michigan, and so many others like them. The devastating typhoon, I don't know if you heard, struck the Philippines earlier this week, and hundreds, maybe thousands, have died. And so it goes. Tell that to those carrying news of personal medical diagnoses. Tell that to those who are living in systems and structures of oppression in our culture, in our nation, and around the globe. Stop. Where is their good news? Where is their joy and wonder and inspiration? Where is the hope? Where's that Norman Rockwell Christmas serene and blissful painting? We're looking for some good news here. COVID Christmas Eve number 2, where life is hard. is not exactly what we'd expected, and we're tired. And honestly, fear of the pervasive darkness around us has a way of doing that, making us tired, wearing out our spirits, weighing us down, stealing our hope and dampening our joy. We end up, like I've been saying, all done. And maybe some of us are even done with Christmas. Darkness all around. Wait, you're saying this is Christmas Eve. Stop all of the dark pictures. Friends, didn't we just hear from the prophet Isaiah, who said that those who lived in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined? Living in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined. That it's only in the darkest places that a person can truly perceive the power of the light. Deep darkness. A couple of weeks ago, I happened to mention that I, didn't think I was going to put up any Christmas decorations this year. And one of you, hearing me say that, shot back very quickly. Don't do that. Don't do that. You have to do something to get ready to say that it's Christmas, even if you don't feel like it. He said that like it was important for me, not just to keep up the tradition, because traditions are great, but it was that a simple decorated tree could point beyond itself, could actually point to a baby in a manger, point to the wonder of this night to remind myself just who this baby is and what this baby means for all of us. The miracle of this night, the light of the world, to keep Christmas in front of me, before me. The darkness of COVID Christmas Eve #2, this darkness has us yearning deeply for something more. And not just for ourselves, but for our family, our tribe, our nation, our entire globe, even the solar system and beyond. We're yearning deeply, calling out for the light. So why is celebrating Christmas so important? It's that Christmas shows us that life is something more. Life is more than our pain, our disease, our oppression. Life is more than darkness. Life is solidly grounded in hope because our pain, disease, oppression, and all of the other burdens we bear are seen and known and actually experienced by God. You see, because tonight we celebrate that life is found in this baby in a manger, born in a backwater town to some unlikely parents. And this baby is none other than the God of the entire solar system in flesh. In Jesus, God chooses us. And God says in a very personal way, I'm there with you. And not only am I with you, I'm here for you. You see, in Jesus, we see God face to face, without a mask. Jesus who reveals the very heart of God, a heart not of sentimental surface kind of love, but a gritty self-sacrificial love for all people. And where God is, however dark, where God is, there's always life, always possibility. There is light. Christmas doesn't erase pain, but it's that we're not having to face our darkness alone. A pastor in Kentucky, the morning after the storms, dared to say in response to a question posed to him about how hard it might be that the church building was destroyed at Christmas time, a time of celebration and joy, a time when the pews are usually overflowing. And he spoke of it as a mystery. He said, because it's from the crucible of suffering that we discover true joy. Even when our lives are in tatters like theirs, joy, deep joy, comes from God being with us and for us. Light always penetrates the deepest darkness to find us. Light finds us. And that's the extraordinary gift of Christmas. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And amazingly, this light was given to us so that we too can shine that light for others stuck in those dark places. In that same town of Mayfield, Kentucky, with a destroyed church, a retired Marine who had been deployed several times and had seen devastation personally, came to this town to see what he could do. He saw destruction like he had never seen before. And he saw it in a child crying in his mom's arms. And he said, "I lost my Christmas." And so this ex-Marine used the social media to call friends and family and beyond. He raised $95,000, lickety-split. And he dressed as a Santa, distributing the gifts. And he said that if the children were distracted only for 1 hour, just 1 hour from the trauma, it would be all worth it. We too can bring the good news of the angels. Do not fear, for unto you is born this day a child. And like those shepherds in the fields that night, even on COVID Christmas number 2, with joy, deep joy, we dare to run to the manger to celebrate once again God's light and God's love among us. Merry Christmas. Amen.